700 horses of man and machine. They're 4 wide. Green flag, showtime. The Knoxville Nationals are green. We're back with regular season action, week number 8 of the Coast to Coast Racing League, and round number 7 of Monday Night Madness. We come to you from Ohio, the home of Uno, Limaland Motorsports Park, where we've got some awesome Open 358 and Rebels and Renegades action coming up around the corner. As always, we begin with the Open 358s here at Limaland. We're so glad you could join us here for another edition of Monday Night Madness on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Slide Job Racing Network. Marty Scala with you inside our broadcast booth, joined alongside Zach Chapman and Brandon Dittmer. And boys, what a heck of a week we had last week for the Knoxville Nationals in honor of the Steve King Foundation. We just got breaking news. The official total number that's going towards the Steve King Foundation, $3,550 donated. How about that, boys? Zach, I'll begin with you. What a number that was.
Well, you know, it just sets the bar that much higher for next season. We've steadily improved that number, but man, just phenomenal job from everybody. You got to love that 96% payout. And I mean, just the fact that everybody here, you know, they knew they could win some money, but it was just all about the Mike Westbrook Foundation, and everybody got the message.
Absolutely. And Brandon, we look at last week, obviously an off week points-wise, but obviously our Mike Westbrook Memorial had a phenomenal race, and in the end, last lap pass, Patrick Spangler takes it home over Ross Corinna. He's a 2-time Knoxville Nationals champion. We'll see him later tonight in the Renegades division.
Yeah, an absolute fantastic night of racing, all fantastic 4 days of racing, all leading up to that a dramatic last lap pass. And like Zach said, can't thank everybody enough who donated all their winnings back to make it possible to give them as much money as we can to help support those two racers. So thank you to everybody involved. Thank you to everybody who could make that possible. And we're ready to go racing tonight, boys.
So we now look at tonight. We're at Limaland, qualifying underway. Scott Rayome currently the quickest at a 13:114. Clayton Clewell in second in a brand new paint job in the 120. Clay Christopherson up to second as Scott Rayome comes across the start finish line. Clewell goes quick time. That's a 13:100 by 13 thousandths of a second on Scott Rayome. Let's go to Dylan Kinsey in the 6:39, currently third quickest on the racetrack. He comes to the checkered flag with a minute left to go in qualifying, and it's a 13:21. The Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, meanwhile, 14th quickest on the racetrack, and he looks for a better lap. It's off, 13:42. Michael Vitale jumps up to fourth quickest on the track. Here's Jonathan Dolly in the 74. I think we made him a regular coast-to-coast member. We appreciate him joining us to becoming a regular member. So with that, I think that's going to do it here for qualifying. Dean Reynolds won't make a lap. 30 open 358s with us tonight. That is an awesome number to see. And Clayton, the Hangman Clewell, the quickest at a 13:100. 13:113 for Scott Rayome. Dylan Kinsey third, 13:139. Clay Christopherson fourth, 13:163. Kurt Schatzer fifth, 13:168. Even with the baseline setup that Swan Speed Shops provide for the Open 358 series, it doesn't disappoint one bit. We move on to heat race number one, and of course heat one, brought to you by our friends at Gambler Motorsports, the official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Here's the starting lineup. The Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker on pole position, the 513. Next to him, Sam Bachman in the 107. Row number 2, Kurt Schatzer, Superman in the 218. And the Hangman, Clayton Clewell in the 120. Row number 3, it's Harold Klump. He's in the 00. And the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer next to him in the 83. Final row tonight, Bob DeGood. He's in car number 7. And Brian Lawson next to him in the 9.
Yeah, and a lot of gamesmanship here, Marty. Guys like Isaac, not necessarily qualifying towards the top. They know how hard it is to win a heat starting from fourth here. So good luck for Clayton as he was the quick man, but it's going to be hard to pass those guys in 6 laps.
Steve King Foundation pace truck already on pit road. We're set to go racing with the Rebels. Winner starts on pole position. We are green. Having some technical difficulties getting things all together here is lap number 1 on the board is led by Sam Bachman. Clewell and Barker battle for the second spot as Kurt Schatzer around the outside, trying to hang on to that final transfer spot. Klump's got to run here, Zach.
Yeah, he does. He's making it work on the bottom, but Barker's struggling a little bit on the bottom, and we're now moving to the middle here. Is Schatzer, he's going to go high. They might try to split Jeff Barker here in the coming laps.
We'll have to see what they can do as we're halfway home, 3 up and 3 down in our first feature of the night.
Really impressed here with the Hangman, Clayton Clewell. I thought starting 4th place would almost be a do-in for you here, but he sent it in. He almost got low here as the white flag's coming out.
Winner on pole. Can Bachman, the Full Throttle Motorsports ride, do it? Clewell tries to find a way to close in as they work their way down the back chute. Barker still third. Klump up to the final transfer spot. Schatzer looks for one final run. Not going to work. Checkers wave. That's Bachman wins heat 1. Clewell second. Barker third. Klump fourth. Schatzer fifth. Lawson sixth. Dittmer seventh. And DeGood in 8th. We now move on to heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Here's how they line up. The Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, he's on pole position, the 075, and Brian Dickens is next to him. He's in the 122. Row number 2, Trent Verstraeten in car number 88, and Scott Rayome in the 444. Row number 3, Glenn Sharp. He's in the 99. And the Hitman, Brett Walsh, in the 52 is next to him. Final row tonight, it's Michael Vecchio in the 007. Dean Reynolds next to him in the 79. No call, though, for Dino on the grid at the moment.
Are there 2 lanes yet, Brandon, or are you kind of fighting for one groove right now?
Middle lane is there. It's nice and tacky right there. The top lane, I think it's just too far around right now with that bottom side having all that grip just to make it that much more viable. So you're really fighting for that middle part of the track. If you are good enough and you have the right gear, you may be able to go down there and hit the bottom and get a good run off, but I don't think it's going to be a consistent basis this early.
Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Hello to Bless Number, who is shouting out the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. And Butch Baker also checking in, rooting for Venom. Very weird weather conditions here tonight, boys. I don't think I've ever seen a foggier race in coast-to-coast action here.
No, and that's going to throw these guys for a loop. The track's going to stay a lot more tackier than normal here, so we may not see a high side like we normally have.
Alrighty. Winner starts next to Bachman on the front row. Green flag is out underway. Look at the run for Dickens around the outside as he tries to go after for the race lead. But Giroux with no yaw in 3 and 4. Washes up the hill. 3 wide for third. Brett Walsh stuck in the sandwich. And we're nearly 4 wide for a moment, Brandon. For Straighten, though, hanging on.
Yeah, Brett Walsh kind of got in that middle, and he just like, see you boys, I'm going to cut right through you like butter. As for Straighten goes to town, or goes to work on Dickens, trying to make that final transfer spot.
You remember a couple laps ago, Dickens was up there battling for the lead, but after some contact with Trevor, I mean, that cycled him back to 5th. Lucky he's back in the final transfer spot now, but if he wants to get back up there, man, he doesn't have a lot of time here, guys.
No, he doesn't, that's for sure. So we continue to watch what's happening. All the drivers here, like in the high side around this racetrack. One lap to go on the final lap for Giroux.
Brett Walsh here. He may have something for P2 before this thing's over.
Let's see what the Hitman can do on Scott Riome. Can he catch him into 3 and 4?
Oh,
Dickens with a chrome horn. I think Walsh may be out of fuel. I'm not too sure, but that nearly cost Dickens. As for Straighten, looked low. Dickens hangs on to 4. Trevor Giroux, meanwhile, wins heat race number 2. An odd ending to things in our second heat race, brought to you by Regency. We now move on to heat race number 3 tonight, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Here's a look at the lineup for tonight. B-Town, Brandon Templeton on pole position. He's in the number 31. Next to him, it's Logan Wentz in the 118. Row number 2, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in car number 32. Next to him, Dylan Kinsey in the 639. Row number 3, Canada Connor Ross in the 35. And the jet plane, J.J. Odell in the 38. And final driver on the grid tonight, Jonathan Dolly in the 074.
Back to what Brandon talked about at the end of that first heat race, I think if any car can gear themselves for the bottom, that 32 is going to give it a shot here.
Possibly here, guys, as the field makes their way onto the race, makes their way out for a pace lap here. I think we're having some more issues here with our live timing, but been a little bit off today, though. That's for sure. So we're working on things, getting that all set up here. Zach, why don't you take the call for heat race number 3?
Green flag is high. It's ready to fly. As Brandon Templeton sends us off into turn number 1 here for heat race number 3. He gets little company there from the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, who checks up back out. But now Templeton, he can set his sails as he slides up in front of the 118 of Logan Wentz there, Brandon.
Yeah, Morano's there peeking his nose to the inside every second he can get. He must have been listening because he must have tried to gear that car up really low, try to hit that bottom side. As Templeton goes back for a slider on first, cut back down from the 18.
Yeah, these guys are synchronized swimming here out front as Logan Wentz going to look back low again. Brandon Templeton going to try to rip the lip and carry a run here, but the 118 almost shuts the door.
He really tried to slam the door there. Luckily, Templeton kind of had the thought of mind to let off a little bit, let him live another day. And here he comes, another cut down. There we go. We're gonna get a slider. Oh, we're gonna get a shut the door from Logan Wentz.
Yeah, now Brandon's going to lean on him a little bit here. You kind of have to here. 2 sticks in the air, 2 more times around. Brandon going to rip the top here in 1 and 2, see if he can't counter a run. But Logan Wentz, he's got a good pace out front here as the white flag's out.
Dylan Kinsley is going right on Templeton's back bumper, just trying to get up one more spot. And here comes Morano around to the inside. Not enough y'all.
The 118 of Logan Wentz looks to have heat race number 3 wrapped up, and he does, followed by the 31 of Brandon Templeton, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey, and the final transfer spot, the 32 of Anthony Morano. It's J.J. Odell, Connor Ross, and my old math teacher, possibly Jonathan Dolly, to be in the B main.
Maybe. We'll just have to see. So, but
Won't know unless I put it out there.
yeah, nobody knows unless you do put it out there. That's a good point. So, all right, moving on here to our final heat race of the night, and we'll get you the starting lineup for that. Randall Dixon on the pole, the 011. Next to him, it's the current points leader in Open 358s. Slide job, Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 2, Michael Vitale in the 213, and Clay Christopherson next to him in the 051. Row number 3, Craig Bristow to the outside of the 93. Butters has his graphics card all figured out. Jason Butterfield rounding out the grid. Jake Henry in the number 171. Top 4 transfer to tonight's feature. Salas and Dixon bring us to green. Here we go.
Great jump by Isaac.
Salas trying to clear Dixon off at turn number 2, and that he does. High banking around Limaland, uses it to his advantage. Christopherson tries around the outside, looking for the third position, and he does, and it puts Vitale on the bubble at the moment. Bristol looks for the runoff for 2. Can he get it, Zach? I'm not too sure.
He's got a peek here in the high side of 3 and 4. If Vitale can't get up and shut the door, he may be in trouble as we're seeing the track change right before our eyes. Looks like the high side's where you want to be right now.
Oh, Bristol looked for the run. Vitale slammed the door right in his face, and Vitale trying to take away that third spot from Christopherson as we're halfway home, Brandon. Oh, look out, Bristol.
Oh, big
crash.
Oh!
Jake Henry also collected. They'll go down to the B main, so it's either Jason Butterfield or Michael Vitale. That's the last driver in the show before the B main. 2 to go here, Zach.
Yeah, and it looks like your leader, Isaac Salas, he's got this thing locked up. He's in his own area code, but the battle right now is for third. Who's going to get this at the line, Clay Christopherson or Jason Butterfield, or Michael Vitale?
We'll have to see here as Isaac Salas makes his way down the back chute for the final time. Checkers are out. The lap here very quick, as it's Salas that takes the win. Dixon second, Vitale third, and Christopherson rounds out the field, finishing 4th in the end. So now move on to our B main for tonight, where we take the top 8 drivers, as we have 16 in. The bottom 6 will go home. Here's how they line up. Superman's on the pole. Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Trent Verstraeten next to him in the 88. The jet plane, J.J. Odell, makes up row 2 to the inside of Butters, Jason Butterfield in the 93. Brian Lawson starts 5th in car number 9, and next to him, it's Glenn Sharp in the 99. Canada Connor inside of row number 4, starting 7th. Next to him, it's Bristow, baby, Craig Bristow in the 39. Rounding out the top 10 for tonight, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer. He's in car number 83. Michael Vecchio is next to him. He is in the 007. Row number 6, it's Jonathan Dolly in the 74. Jake Henry next to him in the 171. Final row tonight, Bob DeGood, he's in car number 7. And Dean Reynolds in the 79, who appears to not be making the show here.
And you got to love the diversity of this field, Marty. Gambler Motorsports, along with Jeff Barker, we did the 24 hours at Spa last week, and randomly in our room, Craig Bristol was in there with his teammates. So it's really neat just seeing the diversity of all these dirt guys, the things they're willing to try.
Absolutely, that's for sure. So Again, our B main, 8 laps. Top 8 transfer. We'll focus on the driver in 8th after the first lap, as it's a little bit skittered at the back of the field as we're green. We got trouble already. Bounty Good Simonson, big contact. One driver head on. It's Glenn Sharp. D Goods also collected. Same with Jake Henry. I think Connor Ross got a piece of it too. Michael Vecchio, first one out's lost a right front tire. Bob D Good in 9th, and Jonathan Dolly, the last driver in at the moment. It's only lap 2, and we've lost a bunch of the field already here, guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where we're actually at on the track here. Bob the Good, he's going to have a big hill to climb if he wants to run down John. It looks like the top 8, barring a big mistake, are pretty much set here if they calm down.
2 seconds behind in the final transfer spot. Top 5 drivers, meanwhile, nose to tail. May want to play it safe, but they got lap truck of the way. Schatzer contact with Vecchio, who is trying to hang on for dear life. He's hoping for a wreck to break out, but now he pulls in the infield. I don't think, Brandon, he realized he did not have a right front.
It's hard to not realize you have a right front, especially since that's like without a left front you can steer these things halfway decently, but without a right front you just can't do anything. I think he was hoping for a caution, but there's no cautions in the B main, so he was just kind of out of luck.
Yeah, obviously last week in the Knoxville Nationals we did cautions for heats and B mains, but that's the unique time of the year. This is back to basics, so no cautions, just like it is in iRacing. As you watch the race for second for Straighten around the outside, can he take second from the jet plane? The answer is yes, with 1 lap to go here.
Yeah, I think the high side's where you want to be in 3 and 4, but the jet plane's been following the leader here in 1 and 2, and that's a quick slider line in 1 and 2 right now, but checker flag's in the air.
Smart decision to play. Kurt Schatzer wins the last chance showdown. Odell second, Verstraeten in 3rd, Butterfield 4th, Lawson 5th, Dittmer 6th, Bristol 7th, and Dolly takes the final transfer spot in 8th. D Good, Vecchio, Ross, Sharp, Henry all missed the show. So we'll go to our first break of the night. When we come back, it's our first feature. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Raceway, they're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses of man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to...
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Open 358 Dirt Modifieds on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, presented by Regency Home Inspections. Now let's go racing.
Let's go racing indeed, Brian Lawson, as we continue on with our warm-ups. Cut it back a little bit as we still have to update that second part of the advertisement. Chad Cote checking in. Good evening, gentlemen. Well, good evening to you, the Goose. Thanks for joining us tonight. As warm-ups continue, Isaac Salas, the quickest driver out on the racetrack. Here, a look at the point standings coming on in without the drops in effect right now through 6 races. It's been Salas and Schatzer. Salas with 4 wins, Schatzer with the win. However, the top 2, it's pretty tight, separated by just 17 points coming in, guys.
Unbelievable. 4 wins, you say, out of the 6. And, I mean, Isaac can drop 2 at the end of the season. So if he keeps up this effort and only loses 2 races here, he's going to have a win in every one that counts for him. Is, man, the kid, he's proven time and time again when he's not busy out on the oil fields here, man, he knows how to sling some dirt.
Absolutely. Salas better by 700ths at the moment in warm-ups.
By how much?
700ths.
Oh, I thought you said 7/10.
Nope, I said 700ths. So we are set to go racing here, our first feature of the night. Let's go ahead and meet the field in the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, it's Sam Bachman in the front Full Throttle Motorsports 107. Next to him, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, in the 075. Row number 2, Logan Wentz. He's in the FTM 118. Next to him, Isaac Salas in the Venom Racing number 5. Row 3, the Hangman, Clayton Clewell in the Elite Sim Sports 120. Scott Rayom is next to him in the FTM 444. Row 4, Brandon Templeton, B-Temp in the Hammer Down 31. And next to him, Randall Dixon in the 011. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, the Bird to Beats, Jeff Barker in the Can-Am Racing Team 513. The Hitman, Brett Walsh, is next to him in the 52. Row number 6, the FTM 639, driven by Dylan Kinsey. Michael Vitale in the Vitale Motorsports 213 is next to him. Row number 7, Harold Klump, driving the 00 tonight. To his outside, it's Brian Dickens in the number 122 Hammer Down Racing Machine. Row number 8, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano's in car number 32. Clay Christopherson is to his outside, his teammate. Final third of the field looks like this. Kurt Schatzer and J.J. Odell, row 9. Trent Verstraeten and Jason Butterfield, row 10. Brian Lawson, Brandon Dittmer, row 11. Craig Bristol and Jonathan Dolly round out the field. BD, we'll let you go first. Who's your pick to win tonight?
Oh, Isaac, don't kill me. I'm going to go with Anthony Morano.
All righty. Zach?
Thank you for leaving Isaac available for me, Brandon.
You know what? Give me the Philly Flyer for the win. So, Brandon, good luck out there tonight, man. All right?
Thank you.
All right, we are set to go now for our Flatline Racing Bodies green flag, our first feature of 3 this evening you'll see here on this Monday night. Sam Bachman and Trevor Giroux set to bring us to green. Field makes their way off at turn number 4. First feature of the night. It's time to get it on. No yaw, turn number 2 from Bachman opens the door for Giroux to take the lead as Bachman's stuck in the middle, 3 wide for second. Salas makes his way through the 2 spot, trouble behind them. Around goes Clewell with a good save, but they stack up behind them. Lawson suffers some damage in the accident, and same with Trent Verstraeten.
You talked about Claywell being able to save that, but then he ends up driving into another accident and gets damaged even more, so guy couldn't, oh man, he couldn't buy a break here today.
Contact with Templeton as Templeton went up the racetrack a little bit after clipping a Uke tire. So a good save from the Hangman, and then bam, into Verstraeten. Let's go on board with the 88. Was also off to a horrible start to this one. And try to avoid hitting his teammate Brian Lawson. Just pretty much a big stack up once that happened.
Yeah, 24 cars on this small a track, Marty, little small quarter mile here. One guy makes a hiccup. Everybody's going to feel it throughout the field. And that was a perfect example here. And speaking of hiccups, well, I guess we are going to go double file here. But if these guys don't behave themselves and we get single file restarts, 24 cars, if you're at the back of that thing, you're almost a lap down right away.
For sure. So from the sounds of it, we did take a green flag lap here. So this is considered lap number 2 as we're ready to come back to the green flag. Here we go. Nope, actually we did not. Yeah, that was a lap that was considered led by Bachman out in front, not Giroux. And so this is lap number 3. Meanwhile, Rayom tries to send it, try and go for the 2 for 1 for third. That did not work as Bachman leads after 3 laps. Giroux second, Wentz is third. Salas and Rayom battle it out for the 4th position, Zach. Caution, Randall Dixon, and oh man, a Waffle House is in turn number 3. Barker, Dickens, Dittmer, Vitale. Let's show you how this one was started. Off the Malcolm's Mill running replay.
Brett Walsh gets a little tight coming out of 2, Marty.
Yep, contact there. Barker up and in the air, upside down he goes. See Vitali Dittmer actually came to a stop to try and miss it. Let's go on board with the Brewerton Beast. Nowhere to go, and the ride is on. Brian Dickens is on board.
One to green.
Thank you for the warning. Fielded stacked up double file, back to the green flag. Bachman, much better restart, holding serving 1 and 2. Drew looks for the runoff in turn number 2. Him and Wentz just about make contact. Already lap traffic approaching. That's Jeff Barker, who just made its way back on the racetrack. Well, assuming he took a quick repair already, as we work lap number 6. Big run for third from Isaac Salas.
Yeah, Isaac is running the top in 3 and 4, and now the Philly Flyer, he went up there and shut the door, but nobody was doing that except him and Templeton, and man, they found a lot of speed out here.
Wentz trying to find some grip in the second groove of this racetrack. Testing out a small slider line, I guess you could say. Meanwhile, they were just 4 wide in turn number 4 for just a moment. I think that was Christofferson trying to make a run at it. And they were nearly 5 wide this time. Harold Klump just the twirly sideways, but finds a way to save it. Meanwhile, Salas trying to find every grip of this racetrack as much as he can. Now he tries the David Gravel line. High on exit, low on corner entry.
I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to try to find that momentum, make the guy in front of you feel uncomfortable. But now Jeff Barker, he's out front. He's racing for his life here, trying to stay on the lead lap. He needs a caution.
If he goes a lap down, that's pretty much the end of his chances for a win. As one driver stops on the track and pulls on a pit road, that was Jonathan Dolly. As now Barker goes a lap down, does he still try to fight? No yaw in turns 1 and 2. That could affect Giroux just a little bit. He switches to the outside. Barker pulls off. He's done for the night. The Venom teammates door to door for second off the corner. Salas moves his way through to second.
Yeah, you know, Slide Job's just got a lot of speed, but look behind him, that 31 of Brandon Templeton, too. He's not afraid to run that lip in 1 and 2, and he's right behind that 5.
On board beat time, you could tell he was up on the banking big time in 4. Run for the bottom step of the podium.
Yeah, he is not worried about saving any right rear tire right now, Marty. He is sending that thing in. That 31 is quick.
And so B-Temp moves up to the 3rd position. Biggest mover of the race is the driver in 7th. Hanging out downstairs, Anthony Morano running in 8th. Looking for 7th if he can get past his teammate Dylan Kinsey with a slider. Kinsey gets on the brakes, wants him to go at it. Didn't want to get involved in an accident, bring out another yellow. So Morano moves up to 7th, and now it's Isaac Salas trying to chase after Bachman. The lead, 9/10 of a second as we're halfway home. Let's go to the 5-lap average.
Yeah, and I think you hit that right on the head, Marty. Dylan and Anthony, they know better. We're at the halfway point. They're not battling for the lead. Anthony's faster. Dylan's got to let him go, and Dylan's got to see if he can learn anything from his teammate.
Caution waves,
out.
Harold Klump. Klump around in turn number 3. Hold on to the brakes. Let the drivers go past you. Gonna let the field go by him. From the looks of it here, before we look at replay, a solo car accident. And I think Zach just gave us a little sneak peek of what we could see.
Yeah, he definitely got some help, Marty. I mean, he...
Whoa! Side over side. Violent crash for Klump.
And Dittmer, he may have to change his shorts after that one. That was a close call for Dittmer there.
Contact with Butterfield. It looks like he may have just squeezed him a little bit, but then had help from behind that put him up in the air. Why don't we ride on board with BD? He can thank Netcode for that he didn't get any damage. Probably just 2X.
Yeah, that was he had a face full of exhaust there. That would have been a scary ride here, but looks like we're at the caution limit here, 1 to green, single file.
Single file the rest of the race.
And I think that's what Isaac Salas wants. He doesn't have to worry about anybody jumping him on the bottom. He can just go to work on the leader. This is what that 5 wants to see.
So Bachman looking for his 4th career win in Coast to Coast. Can he get it done? Had one recently back on July 1st at Eldora after starting 2nd. A great restart for him. B-Temp wants the runner-up spot from Isaac Salas. Throws it with the slide job. Gives Salas the lane still. Meanwhile, the race for 4th, Giroux and Rayom go at it.
And, oh, big wreck on the front stretch under the flag stand. Jason Butterfield, I think, no caution
Lawson
yet.
is in it as well. He's stopped, and that brings out the yellow. So Venom teammates involved in this crash as we go to a replay to show you what happened. Watching Lawson here in the 9. Did anything happen in front of him? Oh, yes, it did with Butterfield. Let's get a wider angle and take a look at Butters. Caught the wall once more, and this was just all by himself, and Lawson had nowhere to go.
Not sure what the flagman was doing either, as it happened right in front of him. Took him a while to pull the yellow out of the sleeve there, but he got to it.
All right, it's a 10-lap sprint to the finish from the looks of it, if not an 11-lap sprint to the finish. Bachman leads, Salas 2nd, Templeton 3rd. Giroux 4th, Rayom 5th. We're going to watch this restart from Chapman Racing drone if you are able to see it. 11 laps of race to go. Here we go. Bachman puts it in there with the slider line to work on it. 2.5 car length lead on Isaac Salas. Nearly 3 wide, as that's both Rayom and Morano looking low on Giroux in the battle for the 4th position here, Zach. Here comes slide job, though. He closed in there on the bumper of Bachman for a moment. Now he tries to explore his lanes.
Yeah, and, you know, he's blinking a little bit there in front of the 31. Brandon isn't going to like that. That's going to make it real hard to get around that 5, but Brandon's a good racer. He'll do what it takes. He's going to have to send it in here into 3 and 4. Here he goes.
Slide job from B-Temp for 2nd. Near contact with Isaac Salas, hanging on to P2. And now he sends it in deep. But now Templeton has company for the podium spot. Giroux had a chance to close in, but he's got company from behind from Scott Rayom. 8 laps to go. Make it 7 now for Sam Bachman.
Yeah, and you're seeing it. Isaac had to defend. He's just now getting into a rhythm. It's taken him 3 laps. So if he wants a shot at this thing, he needs it to stay green, and he needs to hit his marks.
6 laps to go. Full throttle Venom. The 2 best teams in modified racing on Coast to Coast. Who's going to get it done? Salas looking for win 5 of the season. As for Bachman, believe this would be win 2 on the year. 5 fingers up from Barney. 5 to go.
Running out of time here, but man, Marty, they are 3 wide throughout this pack. You got the hit man, Brett Walsh, in the middle, 3 wide. Now he's going to cycle up high. Now Kurt Schatzer's going to go in the middle there, dancing back here.
4 to go. Bachman actually looking for his 2nd win. Correction. Be a long 2 laps. The yellow flag waves. Brian Dickens in the 122 involved in that, as his night comes to a stop tonight. And we'll see him most likely later on tonight in sprint car action. Here's a look at what happened to the dirt track bank 122. Ooh, J.J. Odell washed up the track, and I don't think Dickens saw that one coming. A heavy impact for J.J. Odell, who looks like a boomerang up in the air. You saw Klump also involved as well.
You know, definitely an aggressive slider there by JJ, but not a lot of time left. And I mean, he was clear. He didn't get up into Brandon, so you can't really hate on him for that. Just that's a racing deal.
On board the jet plane, who, yeah, definitely took a wild ride. Luckily, wheels down and not wheels up like we saw at Fallujah. So is this the yell you want for your Salas or no?
Realistically, no, I don't think so. I think Samuel Bachman, he's got this in the bag if he gets a good jump here. It's just this quarter-mile track, not enough time to get the motor wound up. The 5 needs a jump of his life here.
Salas has 3 laps to try and snatch the win away from Bachman. Obviously, with single file restarts, we like to say he has a freebie. Bachman holds serve, goes for the slider line. Salas keeps her around the outside. Templeton just about kisses the wall. Rayome and Giroux battle it out for the 4th position. 2 laps to go for Sam Bachman, Zach.
And, you know, Isaac is a little closer than I thought he'd be here. We might have a race, but Sam Bachman, he's doing so well in that middle line, just hitting his marks.
Ooh, but Salas caught the wall not just once, but twice. That may be what Sam Bachman needs. White flag is out, 1 to go. Salas trying to use the slider line, trying to go as fast as possible and as quick as possible. But Sam Bachman in the Full Throttle Motorsports Super Dirt Car Series 107 offer for checkered flag, win 2 of the season for Bachman. Salas 2nd, Templeton 3rd, Giroux 4th, Rayome is in 5th. Biggest mover tonight, Anthony Morano from 15th to 6th. Not bad of a way to get the party started here tonight at Limaland.
No, you know, you talked about it when you called the action there, Marty. I mean, it's 2 of the best modified teams we got going at it. I mean, that's what a treat here to start Monday Night Madness.
Here are the results here for tonight. Other drivers with good runs. Kinsey started 11th, finished in 4th. How about Christofferson from the back to finish in the top 10? Good run for him. 11 through 20. Trent Verstraeten, Brandon Dittmer starting in the back. Same with Craig Bristow, making their way up a few spots. Jeff Barker, involved in a couple accidents, comes home in 24th per live timing and scoring.
Yeah, and you know, the Clewell, the 12th place doesn't sound very impressive, but we saw him get wrecked on lap number 1 and have to come from 24th. So get back up to 12th. That's a pretty good job for Clayton as well.
JJ said on the rock, just trying to level up to my name. Hey, there's another reason why we call him the jet plane there, that's for sure.
Yeah, he needs a transformer button so he can just have wings fold out on that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, we've got your top 3. We will begin with the 3rd place finisher, Brandon Templeton. B-Temp, a nice run for you tonight. What positives do you take away out of this?
It's just a really fun race. I mean, you know, Limaland seems to support a lot of different racing lines. You can kind of create some stuff as you go. You know, top got tricky, bottom got tricky, middle was something, and a slider was there. So can't ask for anything more for racing, and you know, just a ton of fun. I mean, I'm still out of breath. My heart's beating just because it was pretty close racing and pretty tight on the wall, just trying to keep it safe. But glad to bring it home on the podium, and glad to just finish it out.
It seems like with this modified, it seems like the only way you can pass a driver is probably by either utilizing the high side or trying to slide job. Would you agree?
Yeah, they don't really have enough power to really pull somebody off the bottom. So yeah, you got to get creative with your lines, and you got to keep momentum in mind at all times. So for the most part, it's a pretty good race though at this track. So it made for some pretty fun, good racing.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank, Got Your Six Racing Network, Joe Halter, Mission 22, Brian Dickens, Kurt Schatzer, Hammerdown Racing, Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Hogan's Lawn and Landscaping. You guys for putting on an awesome broadcast. You know, Knoxville Nationals was awesome. If you didn't watch it, you know, go check it out. The stream was cool. The support and sponsorship and the money raised was awesome. So check that out. Just thanks for everyone watching at home. Thanks for everyone at Coast to Coast for putting on an awesome league.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great job tonight. Best of luck later on.
Thanks.
So Brandon Templeton finishes in the 3rd position. Let's go to your points leader, Isaac Salas, with a 2nd place finish. Zach, we'll let you take this one.
Hey, Isaac, Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, hey, man, P2, you got to feel good about that, but at the same time, you know, you got to feel a little empty. You had about 15 or so laps to go to work on him, but just you couldn't find anything to get around him. Was the cushion too thin for you tonight?
Yeah, it was super thin up there, man. And I won't lie to you, like I kind of set myself up for disaster because I didn't really get no practice in. And we were just kind of building the setup like in the 15, 20 minutes before the race. So it's all right though. It did the job. It felt pretty solid in all reality. So I was happy to be up there racing with them for the win.
Yeah, I mean, you know as well as I do when the guy out front here at Limaland is hitting that perfect slider line like Sam was. It's so hard to get around the guy, and technically he was just so sound tonight. But you think if maybe you put in a little more work this week, you could have found a trick in that setup to maybe get the bottom to work? We couldn't see anybody really keep momentum enough to pass anyone on the bottom tonight.
I'm definitely gonna try. I'm going into my days off on Thursday, so it'll give me some time to actually play around with some things and work on it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we'll see. We'll just keep the good momentum going. I think I've only had one bad finish so far this season, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're a points leader in that division before. You know how to get it done in second places, man, week in, week out. That's going to do it for you along with those wins. So, Isaac, hell of a points job tonight, man. Great run. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks to all those guys over at Venom Racing. It's good to see that many of us actually get out. So it's always a pleasure to race with them. Dean the Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Tommy Gun Customs, Arson Trackside, Mission 22, Top Notch Trucking. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Thanks to Coast Coast for the league and all the admins. I heard over $3,000 in money that we raised. So that was pretty awesome. So big congrats to them. Congrats to Sam on the win and Brandon on the good run. And then other than that, thanks to my friends, my family, my girlfriend for watching.
Well, hey, man, second in a 30-card field and a little iRacing Insider here. I see you're in the next session. 31 guys right now in this next session. So
Wow.
good luck here, Isaac.
How many?
31.
The
31.
Rebels, buddy. It's competitive in the Rebels anymore.
I can't tell you the last time we had a B main in the Rebels.
Yeah, same.
Well,
It's been a while.
Tonight.
So,
Yeah, tonight.
yeah, tonight.
Yep.
So, alrighty, Isaac. Good luck tonight. Great job.
Appreciate it.
And now we go to your winner in victory lane, Sam Bachman. Your winner, second win of the season. Did you want that late race caution or not really, Sam?
I was a little worried when I seen it coming, that's for sure. I was a little worried my tires were going to seal over because I was kind of throwing it in pretty deep down there and that using that slider line the whole time.
How did you feel about the way you were driving the car tonight? It seemed like the slider line was like the best place to go. If somebody was starting to close in on you, you could regain some speed by testing out the slider line.
Oh yeah, I tried it right off the rip and it felt pretty decent, and I just kept sticking with it the whole time, and it just kept sticking up there, and 1 and 2 it started getting a little high up there, and I was a little worried maybe the high side was going to start being a little faster. There's a couple times Isaac was starting to catch me, and then I'd start pulling from him, and then he'd start catching me, and so I was getting a little worried.
2 wins on the season. That should put you up to, if I were to guess, somewhere probably 7th or if not maybe 6th in points. So, but a great run for you regardless, Sam. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the boys over at FTM, Garner at Swamp Speed Shop, Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Coast to Coast for putting this on, you guys for broadcasting, and that's it.
Great job tonight. Congratulations, your second win of the season. Well done.
Thank you.
Sam Bachman takes the win here tonight. We're going to step aside, take our first break of the evening. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. friends, it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get right when we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
The fog is cleared, and we have a Racetracks and Sunsets. CC Dean Reynolds, welcome back here to the Coast to Coast Racing Network, where we are getting ready to go for Rebels action here at Limaland. And what a car count here. We'll bring you back in the booth here. Marty Stakala, Zach Chapman, Brandon Dittmer. What a car count we have here. 31 drivers with us, as looks like Brandon's talking to somebody at the same time in the booth, so perfect timing for me to cut to this scene.
Brandon has always been good with timing, Marty.
Yes.
He always hits the nail right on the head. I mean, if you want to count on somebody for something, count on Brandon for doing the wrong thing at the wrong time.
You had one job. You had one job. Anyway,
this really is a crapshoot tonight, though. This is one, Marty, that you could easily see a guy steal their first win. All these cars on the same track. I mean, accidents are going to happen. You got to get some luck tonight. You got to survive.
Absolutely. So we will see what happens here as we move on to qualifying here tonight. We'll see who the first driver is that'll make its way out onto the speedway, and that is not what we are going to want there for sure.
And we got 100 grand Joseph Grandy back out here too, man. Oh man, this is gonna be a show.
Let's watch first driver Joseph Grandy in the 518. That'll probably be a good idea to put him on the spot. Grandy's first lap, 12:26, but quick time Isaac Salas, 12:22 for slide job on lap number 1. The second lap time could possibly be faster for the 5, and it is off by just under a tenth. Dylan Kinsey also with us. He's in a 6:39, driving for Corey Comparator. Third quickest, Brian Lawson fourth. Let's go to Michael Junk of the 27, who ran with us at Knoxville. Just finished his second lap, and 12:48. Rick Main up to 9th after lap 1. Chad Griggs is 10th, 12:32 and 12:36 respectively. Main looking like he's got a much better lap in hand, and it is a 12:30 up to 7th for the 187. So qualifying is done, and Isaac Salas is the quickest here. A lot of good laps here.
13th through 16th is where you got to think the money was made here. Those guys are going to start P1 in their respective heats.
They're liking that for sure. So the checkers are out here on qualifying. So as we get set to go here, let me put the update on this real quick. There we go. Here's a look at the starting lineup. It's Pat Boyce on pole position. He's in the number 41, and next to him, it's Gary Offutt in the 94. The jet plane, J.J. Odell in row number 2, next to Isaac Salas in the 5. Sam Bachman inside of row number 3, next to him, Michael Junk in the 27. Final row tonight, Dan McLaren. He's in car number 88, and Bob Curtis back with us in the number 12. So first of 4 heats we have on tap for you this evening.
This is going to be one of those weird heats here, Marty, where, you want to be fast, don't get me wrong, because you want to win, but you better make sure you have another setup to throw in this thing, because with all the cars we have here tonight, yet another B main, 3-minute warm-up session. Man, this track is going to be gone when the green flag goes for the feature time.
Steve King Foundation pace truck about to make the left-hand turn on to pit road. $3,300 just about donated from our Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Top 4 transfer. Winner starts on pole for the 30-lap feature. Boyce off of the front row. Here we go. Wing to wing for the top spot between Boyce and Offutt. Let's see who can lead this one. It's the SRC 94. Oh, look out, Salas sideways. What a save. That is one of the best saves I've seen in a sprint car in a long time, Zach.
Yeah, amazing save, and good job by the 27 of Michael Junk there to check up and make sure he didn't junk his car there to start out and live to race another day here, but Isaac's got a big hill to climb now.
He's the first driver outside of a transfer spot. Can he get past Sam Bachman for 4th? The answer is yes. Yes, it's still Offutt leading. The jet plane testing the top around Pat Boyce. Goes through to the 2nd position for right now. Now Odell gets a bit swirly once again. Salas once again moves up another spot, and he thinks about threading the needle, but more contact with Boyce. He may not be able to save it that time. He can't.
No, and You know, that's going to be, Isaac's not going to be happy about that, but he's got a long way to go here, and he can race his way back up in the B main.
McLaren trying the slide job for the 4th position. That doesn't work with 3 laps to go in this heat. It's still Gary off foot, though, by a quarter of a second, but he's got company. J.J. Odell has closed in for pole position tonight.
Yeah, JJ's going to rip the lip here. He's going to try to diamond off, but I just don't know if he's close enough to make a move here. And you got to think Gary Offit's going to protect here as the white flag's out.
Half a lap to go. Offa keeps it on the top. Odell bottom. Slide job doesn't work. Gary Offa takes the win in Heat 1. Odell 2nd, Bachman 3rd, Boyce 4th, McLaren 5th. Bob Curtis finishes in 6th, Michael Junk 7th, Isaac Salas 8th.
And you got to respect that 94 Gary Offit. He trusted his pace up top. He didn't close the door, and, well, JJ did a good job of not getting into the leader and giving us a good finish.
That heat, by the way, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, official team of Coast to Coast. We go on to heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspections. Here is the starting lineup. The Goose is on the pole. Chad Cote in the number 11. Next to him is Chad Griggs in the 270. Run number 2, the General, Andy Patton. He is in the number 87 and 100 grand. Joseph Grandy next to him in the 518. Run number 3, Tyler Flynn in the 831. The Mayor, Steve Bixler, next to him in the 75. Final row tonight, Clay Johnson in the number 44 and Steve Maurer in the 888.
All right, I'm back, boys.
Welcome back, Brandon. We missed you.
I'd be back a lot sooner if I could figure out how to talk English perfectly, but here we are.
We still saw you on the broadcast, just having a conversation.
Yeah. Looked like you were talking to yourself.
To it
I was
like
talking
yourself,
to Dina.
You did a great job.
There's a lot of me talking, though.
Yeah, you can pretend you were talking to Dino, but as far as and Marty and everyone else knows, you were just talking to yourself right there.
Alrighty, alrighty.
So again, there's a look at the starting lineup as we are just about ready to go green for heat race number 2.
Yo, what a lineup here. Oh my gosh. I'm
It
glad
is
I'm not in
stacked.
this.
The Gooks and Griggs bring us to green. Winner outside the front row. Green flag is out.
Ooh!
Look out.
Big contact!
Cote around. Same with Grandy. No caution, though, as we stay under the green flag. 3 wide, though, for 3rd. Transfer spot on the line. Clay Johnson yeeting Bixler out of the way up to 3rd. Patton, can he get through? He's in the 3rd spot. Johnson still 4th. The Mayor and Johnson go wing to wing. Bixler up to 4th, Zach.
Oh, well, 8 tires turned better than 4 the last time, so he almost tried it again there, but Bixler rode up the hill. He wasn't going to let him do it twice, but man, these guys are rubbing hard back here for the final transfer spot.
This is a great race going on for 4th. Meanwhile, Chad says, thanks very much, boys. I'll take it from here. 2-second lead on Andy Penn as he and Tyler Flynn battling for 2nd. Tyler Flynn, it has not been a good start to the season for the 831, that's for sure. However, though, this would be a great starting position for him if he could just make the show regardless. But Patton up to 2nd, though, Zach. I'm sorry, Brandon.
Yeah, he is. Tyler Flynn's trying everything on that bottom side, trying to get some traction down there, just not really picking up anything on Patton as Steven Bixler slowly reels both of them in.
2 laps to go. Bixler, the final guy in. He's ahead of Clay Johnson by 0.7 of a second. Something could be telling me at the same time Flynn may have put less fuel in compared to everyone else, which is why he's hanging on the bottom side of the racetrack. Fuel makes the way off turn 4. Checkers are out. Chad Griggs with the win, the heat race. Crash behind them as around went Clay Johnson in the 44. Patton 2nd, Flynn 3rd, Bixler 4th, Cote 5th, Grandy 6th, Maurer 7th, and Johnson 8th. Now moving on to heat race number 3. Canada Connor on pole position. Connor Ross, the 35. Chris Schaefer next to him in the 123. Row number 2, Rick Mayne. He's in the 187. And Dylan Kinsey next to him in the 639. Jonathan Dolly inside of row number 3. Next to him, it's Logan Wentz in the 118. Final row tonight, Ronnie Brown making his Coast to Coast Racing League debut in the 76. And Michael Todd is in the 117. Bringing back the mystery machine, Zach.
Yeah, and he's got my logo on the top of it. Michael Todd reached out to me, asked if it was cool if he threw me on the top of the wing there, and of course, man, I love it. He did a wonderful job on that paint. Hats off, Mike.
Hey, there it is, Shaggy TV.
And now we just got to put it in victory lane, because that's something I do not believe I was ever able to do with my Mystery Machine sprint car.
I
think I won in the big block once, but man, these sprint cars definitely were not my cup of tea.
Heat 3 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Let's see who's checking on in here. J-Man checking in, wants to see people like it. Spangler said to Dittmer that was on screen, he's arguing his point right now to someone.
Green flag.
And he says that there's 15 guys that could easily win tonight. All right, green flag is out for Heat 3. Good start from Connor Ross.
Yeah, and he's one of the guys who could win tonight. That's a good jump for Connor, and if he can get out front, man, that kid is hard to get around.
Chris Schaefer makes his way up to the 3rd position as here comes Kinsey in that 639. Looking for that final transfer spot. Dolly hanging on for dear life off the corner. Nearly clips a couple of Uke tires there. That low line just won't work one bit. And again, hits 2 tires. And man, he is just eating up powdered donuts badly, Brandon.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always worry about running the bottom here is when it's not if, it is when you hit those inside tires and how badly it will hurt your machine. As Rick Mayne kind of gets into the wall on the outside, we almost have a little bit of contact coming out of 4th.
Yeah,
you know, John,
go ahead.
He was always good at geometry there, guys, but he's just messing up his corner entry a little bit. Keeps getting into those tires. He's got speed down there on the bottom. When he slows it down, you see him pull up close, but he just can't be smooth lap in, lap out.
3 going heat race number 3. Connor Ross still out in front, just about a second lead on Rick Mayne. Guys, I gotta hand it to Rick Mayne. Looked very impressive at the Knoxville Nationals for the performance he had.
Yeah, I mean, he was top qualifier, I believe, right on his night, Marty. I mean, the guy was just phenomenal, and him and Chad, they're 2 guys that are gonna hopefully be cornerstones in this league for a long time to come.
But Connor picked up the most spots from the back inside the top 10 at the end. A 12:38, the quickest lap, as he wins heat race number 3. Mayne 2nd, Kinsey 3rd, Schaefer 4th, Dolly 5th, Brown 6th, Todd 7th, and Wentz 8th. Trevor Giroux checking in, says thanks for the broadcasting tonight, fellas, as always.
Man, the top 4 in this heat, oh gosh.
Yeah, we're set to go here for our final heat race of the night. Trent Verstraeten in on the pole in the 88. Clay Christopherson next to him in the 51. Row 2, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Brian Lawson in the 9 next to him. Corey Denson in the number 91 next to the Bass Man. Roger Craig in the 747. Final row tonight, the captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. And Steven Stewart in the 29. No call from Denson or Stewart to grid here. So this is 3-on-3, Canada versus America. It looks like overtime in the NHL. That's about to begin.
What a great catch there, Marty. Who do you got, Team USA or Team Canada here?
It's Olympic season, USA, baby.
Amen, brother. These colors don't run here, coming out of 4.
Green.
Green flag is out. Here we go. Tell you what, the Americans could have the advantage, though, because Christopherson's on the outside line, and the quickest in qualifying was the 9 of Brian Lawson, as Christopherson leads lap number 1. But Verstraeten all over That FTM car peeks underneath for the race lead. Does not work one bit, Brandon.
Yeah, he's kind of trying that lower line, but unfortunately right now you just kind of got to be on that cushion to get any sort of run out of there unless you time that diamond perfectly coming out of the corner going through the tackiness. But he's got a little bit of a run coming out here. Oh, he's going to get to the wall and lose a little bit.
Anthony Morano also starting to close in here. Zach, 3-man race for the lead. Next time by, halfway home.
Yeah, and that's where if you're Trent, you got to be a little smarter than that. After getting in the wall, you know you don't have enough momentum to throw that slider. You got to keep it up. You can't let that 32 get around you on the high side. There he goes. He's going to be smart. You got to let the car, but now, Anthony Morano might throw a slider here.
Yeah, I had to let off the throttle there or else was going to give him the chrome horn as the battle for a second allows Christofferson to pull away. Not bad to help out your FTM teammate at the same time. Try and get him to start outside of row number 2. And Gary Taylor, you see, his crash pulls it on to pit lane. He'll race in the B main, maybe even a C main. I don't even know.
Big run the wall.
Verstraeten!
He broke.
Verstraeten tried to Herbie at upside down in turn number 4. Roger Craig with 1 lap to go in the show. As Lawson's up to 3rd, Clay Christofferson off for turn number 4. Takes the win in the final heat race. Morano 2nd, Lawson 3rd, Craig 4th, Denson in 5th at the end. Verstraeten, Taylor Stewart joined the 91 in the B main in the consies.
We're going to have to make a little video of that where Roger is pretending to hook that fish. I think he's the one who hooked Trent there and pulled him in the wall. We'll have to make a little compilation.
So it will be a B main with 16 drivers. Half of them move on. Oh, yeah, by the way, USA, USA, USA. Here's the lineup for the B main. Dan McLaren and Chad Cote make up an all-Canadian front row. Jonathan Dolly, Corey Denson next to that, behind them in row number 2. Row number 3, Bob Curtis in the 012 and 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row number 4, Ronnie Brown, he's in the 76, and it's Trent Verstraeten next to him. Rounding out the top 10 here for tonight, it's Isaac Salas in the 5 and Steve Maurer in the 888. Michael Todd in the 117 next to Gary Taylor, the captain. That is row number 6. Michael Junk and Clay Johnson, they make up row number 7. And final row for tonight is Logan Wentz and Steven Stewart, but again, no calls for them. Excuse me, and no calls either for Trent Verstraeten or Isaac Salas. So I wonder if one of those 4 may have the strategy playing out where they're going to start a couple seconds behind in the pits and make their way on track to see if they can take advantage of a top 8 spot, because that lap 1 is in a B main pretty common, that's for sure, guys.
I can tell you right now, Isaac Salas, Trent Verstraeten, and Logan Wentz have all disconnected. They are done for the night.
So we'll see what Steven Stewart possibly does here as well.
Steven Stewart is also gone. I think he registered for the wrong section, so he is not racing.
He might be watching.
I believe he's a renegade.
He's we have a watch button for a reason, just saying.
Green, green, green.
He did try that. He accidentally registered as a driver, and
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're green for the last chance showdown. We'll watch the driver in 8th after lap number 1. Jonathan Dolly looking for the KMR 2-for-1 discount off the corner, but it's McLaren that leads lap number 1. Battle for 8th is a good one. Steve Maurer and Michael Junk wing to wing off of turn 2, guys, but look out, the 76 of Brown is sideways, and now Brown the last one in. Gary Taylor now the last one in. Side by side off the corner, the captain has it.
Contact!
Bob Curtis, though, goes around, and he collects Michael Junk.
Oh, another one. Steve Maurer around. Oh, big wreck up front.
Michael Junk, and you see Dan McLaren has lost the front wing. Front end damage on the 88. Can he keep it together, though, in the final few laps of this one? Oh, he's got a right front tire, and Clay Johnson yeets him.
Oh, my God. We're watching an Enduro right before our eyes.
It's the hangover, and McLaren is done. Up in the wall. The right front couldn't hang on for too long.
That puts the Shaggy Mobile in the final transfer spot.
Oh, and Steve Maurer. Everybody hanging on for dear life. Yes, Shaggy, you're right. Michael Todd currently in. And they're wrecking again. Taylor and Dolly.
Guys, you're in the show. Settle down.
Take it easy, damn it.
Oh, Gary Taylor hard.
Do people like not want to be in the Rebels feature or something? Like, what the heck?
I mean, there are a lot of good guys in it. Might be scared.
4
Guys,
laps to go.
The Enduro season was a year ago. I have the trophy to prove it. Settle down.
And you gotta love Michael Junk and John Dolly are going hard at each other for the final transfer spot.
That's actually the battle for
finally
7th.
Oh, yeah. Dolly actually is gonna check up here. Just gonna run the bottom, be smart here now.
Dolly 3 seconds in front of Steve Maurer, so he's got a lot of time, that's for sure. Meanwhile, 1 lap to go in the B main. Joseph Grandy out in front, trying to pass Steve Maurer without any issues, and that is the case. Here comes the field off of the corner. Hunter Grant takes the win in the B main, and because Maurer went a lap down, he's done. We have your top 8 already. Grandy, Cote, Denson, Brown, Johnson, Todd, Junk, and Dolly. Shaggy, your car's in the show.
Yeah, hey, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, and it was a case of survival of the fittest, and he survived.
All right, we'll step aside and go to break here. When we come back, it's feature time. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Raceway. They're lean. They're mean. They're...
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Rebels Division on the Coast to Coast Racing League Network, presented by Malcolm's Mills Mill Rating.
Ross Corina getting us set to go here as warm-ups continue at the moment. And I'm guessing
speaking of Ross Corina, and it was a charity race, but I'll just play devil's advocate here. Do we see any fireworks carry over between him and Patrick Spengler at this quarter mile here at the next race?
You asking, will we?
Yeah, will we?
I highly doubt it.
I don't think so either. I think at the end of the day, they know what that was for, and Ross was going to do the same thing with that money that Patrick Spengler did for it. At the end of the day, that was just for a plastic piece of trophy, a little piece of bragging rights. They knew what it was really about.
Now, if they want to get together and make some good TV, we can make that happen. But
yes. Okay. All right, we are having some, again, live timing issues here tonight. Let's see if this can do the trick, and that unfortunately it won't, so try one more thing here. I think this may do it right here. Let's see. All right, this is where we put out the backup unit. All right, I'm going to get the backup all set up to go here. While we do that, Zach, why don't you give us the starting lineup for tonight's feature?
Yeah, let me go ahead and organize this here for you, ladies and gentlemen. And, well, starting on the pole tonight, who had this on your bingo card? The 94 of Gary Offit into his outside, the 270 of Chad Griggs. Inside of row number 2, Daddy's Money, Connor Ross in the 35. Into his outside, Clay Christopherson in the 051. JJ the Jet Plane rolls off on the inside of row number 3 into his outside, the General Andy Patton. Inside of row number 4, the 187 of Rick Main into his outside, the Ant-Man Anthony Morano. Running out the top, Rounding out the top 10 on the inside of row number 5, the 107 of Samuel Bachman into his outside, the 831 of Tyler Flynn. Dylan Kinsey's going to roll off P11 into his outside, the 9 of Brian Lawson. Starting in the Baker's Dozen spot, we've got the 41 of Pat Boyce into his outside, the Mayor, Steven Bixler. Chris Christopherson's going to roll off on the inside of row number 8 into his outside, the Bassman, Roger Craig. Hunter Grand, Joseph Grandy on the inside of row number 9 into his outside, the double one machine of Chad Cote. Rounding out the top 20 on the inside of row number 10, we've got the 91 of Corey Denson into his outside, possibly former running back for the Miami Dolphins, I want to believe, Ronnie Brown. Inside of row number 11, we've got Clay Johnson into his outside, Michael Todd. And rounding out the field tonight, Michael Junk in the number 27 into his outside, and the 074, Jonathan Dolly.
Well, we will have to see what goes down here tonight. Again, having some technical difficulties with iRacing here, so bear with us as we get things all good to go. One lap to the green flag. Apologies, guys, we don't have time for predictions because this is a quick racetrack, and we are good to go. Flatline Racing Bodies, green flag set to fly as it's Gary Offfoot and Chad Griggs ready to bring us to green. It's time to get it on. Side by side off the corner, it's still Offfoot against Griggs. Everybody 2 by 2. Lap number 1 nearly 3 wide. Look out, Connor Ross is around. Everybody finds a way to get by him except for Michael Todd, who just barely clipped him.
And, you know, that's a case of, Connor probably had the bottom, but, man, it's a little early, and you just gotta kind of know who you're around, know when you should make what move, when and where, and a little too early to go 3 wide, and he's going to pay for it.
Brandon?
I missed that whole wreck. I'm sorry.
We're watching onboard here with Canada Connor. I think
Brandon with the gold again.
Yes.
I love this man.
We should give Connor as well some big credit here too, because he knew nobody was coming by him down low, so he just decided, you know what, I'm gonna get off the racetrack, give drivers an extra opportunity to miss the accident. And then Michael Todd came. No offense, Shaggy.
No, yeah, and you know, that's something that Connor and I actually have in common. I've seen some of his real life racing, and him and I have tore up a fair share of race cars in real life, so he has experience with coming to a stop and, you know, making sure he doesn't die there, and it showed. He did a good job of getting out of the way, and Connor's a smart kid. Just because his race is over, it doesn't mean he's going to ruin somebody else's.
So we are double file, ready to come back to the green flag here. Chad Griggs selects the outside as we're back underway. Man, what a jump he got. Pulled away big time from Gary Offfoot. Offfoot now stuck down in the 4th position. That's Christopherson underneath trying to take it away. But Offfoot trying to fight back, see if he can close it on Andy Patton for 2nd. Won't work just yet.
We are 3-4 wide back there for like 10th place. Holy cow.
Wow stuff. Dylan Kinsey, Joseph Grandy, Pat Boyce, all a part of it. 4 wide once again off the corner. Caution's out. Not too sure who it's for. I believe Clay Johnson and Jonathan Dolly. And they actually, both of them went into the pit, so something had to have happened. Let's bring up the replay.
Yeah,
Johnson
like
in front of him. There he is in that 44. Got a little sideways in front of Dolly, and upside down he goes. Let's go on board with the 44.
I think we need to run Michael Todd out of a new set of britches.
Got hit with a hello dolly there. That was a big one.
Field loading back up, 2nd caution flag out here at Limaland. Let's talk about the points here real quick. Coming on in for the Rebels, haven't talked about that yet. Chad Griggs has been dominant, 4 wins and 6 starts. with the drops, leads by just about 120 points on Gavin Chatham, who is not with us tonight. Griggs, Chatham, and Connor Ross all have won so far this season as we're back to green.
And once again, you see that high side is the place to be. Andy Patton caught sleeping on the bottom, goes from second to fourth, just like we saw happen to Gary Offit. And look at the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, up 5 spots on that final step of the podium.
Yeah, he has started 8th tonight. Joseph Grandy, meanwhile, stuck in no man's land, 3 wide. Tyler Flynn clips a Tory tire. He hangs on to it. Final driver that could make his way into the Renegades right now, Gary Offit in 5th, looking for 4th on the General, and nips him at the line.
Ooh, Brian Lawson, slight contact in the wall, got down in front of Rick Megan, and there it goes. Oh, man.
Pat Boy,
big
Steve
one
Bixler has turtled on his side.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Started on the front stretch between those guys. That was a long way out.
Rick Main, Pat Boyce, Steve Bixler, Flynn, about 7 drivers in it. Here's how it all started. Net code first, and then Main clips Lawson. And we scatter them all over. Let me know, boys, when we're 1 to green, because we're going to go through some onboards.
And we are 1 to green.
Perfect. Single file restarts for the rest of this one. It'll be 9 laps complete when we come back to the green.
Green, green, green.
Everyone liking this high side at the moment. Now, what's going to take for a full throttle motorsports driver here, Brandon, to try and close in?
And he's just hoping that those front 2 drivers have completely wore out their tires. They've run running. They were both full, 2 and 3 are full throttle. Jeez. There's hope Chad Gray's gonna run his tires off. He's been up there the entire time, absolutely ripping the lip. That is going to wear out his tires, and they're just waiting for that bottom side to come in because that's where they love to be. And as soon as that happens, they're down there and they are going to pull away.
I think you're. Oh,
Caution
man.
again. Cautions breeding cautions. Brian Lawson, Ronnie Brown, and Michael Todd involved in this.
Not the Shaggy Mobile.
Oh, man. I was used to wrecking that thing.
Now you know how Marty feels every time I wrecked with his face on my car.
Yep. See a couple of 360s. Let's go on board with Brown. Now, you know what? Why not? We'll go Michael Todd.
I'm going to need to reach in the budget and get him a new front wing. That thing looks pretty bent up after that. Should be 1 to green here. Yep. Pace truck is off.
Should be, yeah.
Green, green, green.
So Greg's able to time that restart pretty well. Again, very tough to pass. I think, Brandon, I think it was you that said it with the high car count. This track would be completely slickened off by early in this feature, and you can clearly see it.
Yeah, it has gotten to the point where it is like almost black ice. You're either on the very, very top or the very, very bottom. You're anywhere in between. There's a good chance you're just going straight backwards.
Joseph Grandy, nice charge for him tonight, starting 17th. He's up to 6th. If he passes J.J. Odell, he would be in the show at the moment, Zach.
Yeah, looky who behind him on the bottom after wrecking on lap number 1, trying to pass for the lead. Connor Ross hooking up on the bottom too. So it's showing you can do it, but it's probably not where you want to be at the moment. Chad Griggs, a leader though, he just kisses the wall going down the front stretch. That'll
Michael
allow
Dodd.
Clay. Oh no!
Sorry,
Mike.
buddy. That's likely going to be it for him tonight. And it is. He is turned off iRacing. That shows you the frustration he's had tonight with that race car. Track's just too slick to his liking from the looks of it. If we could only have a hard charger for number of cars passed, not how many spots gained from your starting position.
You're telling me, Marty, I wish iRacing could track that, because I actually wanted to donate my money to that, but we didn't know, or for the Knoxville Nationals, most cars passed throughout the event, but we didn't know how we would track it. Hopefully somebody from iRacing is listening, and we can start keeping track of that.
Because I think I passed 30 cars in total. I went to 30th. I went from 30th to 14th, and then 30th to 16th.
Here we go. We're back to green. Anyone stop the dominant Chad Griggs? We'll just have to see. Christopherson waiting in the wings at the moment. Joseph Grandy peeks downstairs for 5th on JJ O'Dell. He just made it work up to 5th. I think he got at the line.
He did get it at the line. He's making that inside work fantastically.
Oh, and Odell's taking some notes. He wants to go back downstairs. 100 grand up to 4th, Zach. Oh boy, this could get interesting.
Yeah, you know, after the heat he had, who would have put him up here battling for the podium? He's still got plenty of time here to get it done. 10 laps to go this time by.
Let's go to the 5-lap average, show you who the quickest driver is on the racetrack. Let's see if Grandy is a little bit quicker here this time. It still shows Griggs, then Christopherson. And that 51, Brandon, is hanging in there with Chad Griggs this time.
Yeah, and they're watching him. I wonder if they got a FTM teammate in their ears telling them, hey, somebody's making that bottom work beautifully. Get down there when you feel comfortable.
But now Gary Offutt back in this race. He's in the 4th position. Ooh. JJ has actually lost some time. He is down to 6th.
JJ is still working that top side. Really looking like he's having to saw at that wheel to keep it up there and somewhat keep it smooth, as he's about to get passed for 6th by Chad Cote.
Jonathan Dolly's jumped it onto pit road. We stay under the green flag. Grandy has switched it to the outside line here.
Morano kind of takes a lower look, just seeing if he can pull anything on these front two.
We need this thing to stay green. This is when it gets interesting here. Here comes lap traffic, boys.
First time tonight with 5 laps to go. Steve Bixler has crashed, no caution. We stay green right now. He jumps into the pits. First driver Griggs approaches. Corey Denson, he pulls off. We keep on racing. Christopherson, though, still there. Gap 0.4 of a second with 4 laps to go. Corey Denton's also put her on pit road. Next driver the leaders approaches Ronnie Brown of the 76. 3 laps of racing to go.
Grandy has pulled up.
Look out in front of Griggs! Chris Schaefer in the fence! And the yellow goes!
I thought he was going to clear the fence and get off the track.
Me too. I thought for a second.
Interesting.
I thought for a second we were going to have no caution, that he was going to climb out of the ballpark.
He tried
Please leap over the dang fence.
Oh. It got up to the point where it teetered off to the right, but then it just fell right back down.
Look at that. He was about to. Dang it, iRacing, what are you doing?
Sorry, Shaver, because you came back in the ballpark, I'm going to have to give you a 3 out of 10 on that this mount.
Let's go on board with Schaefer in that. When he hit the wall that first time, completely broke the steering end. He even gave it some throttle, I think, trying to leap it over. Well, this is
Going green,
got
Marty.
interesting now.
Green flag, green
Chad
flag.
Griggs or Clay Christopherson, who do you got? 2 laps to go.
Granny to the bottom to the inside of Morano.
That's the battle for third on the racetrack. I don't know if I'll have enough time to catch the leader. White flag is out, final lap underway. JJ Odell has moved into the final transfer spot to Renegades, pending IL. But out in front, Chad Griggs and the Scott Tomasin Racing, number 27 off for turn 4, takes the checkers win 5 of the year.
Grandy's going to steal third.
Joseph Grandy by 600ths of a second on Anthony Morano from 17th to 4th. I'm sorry, 17th to 3rd, correction. Let's show you how he was able to pull that off at the end. Right there, look how tight that was at the end. That contact, of course, coming after the checkered flag. So Griggs, Christopherson, Grandy, Morano, Odell, all eligible to compete in Renegades tonight. But in the end, it's Chad Griggs that gets the job done, and we just need Joseph Grandy in. That would begin the proceedings here. So get Joseph Grandy in third, and we'll let Zach take this one.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, 100 grand, man. Well, you know, the night didn't start out the way you wanted to. You got roughed up a little bit in that heat race, and man, you had to earn your way through the field. Won the B main, and do you think you know, you could have got maybe another caution there towards the end? Do you think you had anything for those front two, or it just too hard by the time you could get by somebody on the bottom?
Maybe if the caution came out a little sooner, I definitely think I had the fastest car there. But yeah, I had to work for that one, that's for sure. But overall, good race. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be disappointed. Up 14 spots, and you know, you don't always run these things, but are we going to see carry over with your top 5 here? Are you going to go race the A Series tonight?
Not tonight.
Well, Joseph, congratulations, man. Hard charger, great run, 3rd place. Who you want to thank?
Catalytic Recovery, West End Tone and Repair, Highline Photography, all the guys over at Front of Motorsports, my girlfriend Olivia. I'd like to thank Coast to Coast, all the guys behind the scenes, and appreciate you guys for the broadcast.
Great job, man. Looking forward to a lot more of these.
Thanks.
So Joseph Grandy with a 3rd place finish here tonight. Let's go to Clay Christopherson, our 2nd place finisher. Clay, a great run for you tonight, man. If that final caution does not come out, do you feel like you have a much better shot at Chad Griggs for the win?
It was hit or miss. We would both hit the right rear a couple times or not have the drive off we both wanted. It was kind of back and forth. It was tough to get a run because it'd be, I got him on coming out of 2 and then 3 I mess up, or you know, it was just back and forth. I'm like, I'm not gonna throw a bomb in and risk everyone's race. So
how'd you feel about your car tonight, though, as a whole?
well, I felt like it was just stuck on a rail. It didn't move. I was maybe quarter throttle the whole time. It just felt comfortable.
Other than that, what positives do you take away from this?
I know I can run the top because I didn't know if I was going to be able to before.
Well, that you can, that's for sure. So, a great run, though. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Dino, DJ, Morano, all the guys at FTM that help out and tune-up setups and stuff. I'm not a tuner. I just drive the dang thing, so. But, and Swan Speed Shop, so. Well, that's about it.
Well, you drove it to a good run, that's for sure. Well done, and best of luck in Renegades.
Thank you.
So Clay Christopherson with a 2nd place finish. Now we go to victory lane. It's his 5th win of the season. Chad Griggs, Zach, you've got him.
Well, hey, Chad, first off, man, you know, Knoxville maybe didn't go the way you wanted, but all in all, great weekend for charity, or great week for charity. We raised a lot of money, and, man, you and Rick, you guys put on a good show, and, man, we are so happy to have you guys here racing regularly.
Yeah, that was Knoxville was fun. Like I had said before, I don't really have anything to blame other than my qualifying night there. If I started up front, I think I could have ran up front and been there at the end, but we'll do it again next year. Had a good time.
Well, now living in the present here, leading all the laps, able to take the lead there, coming out of 4 on the opening lap, and you never looked back. Were you taking it easy, pacing yourself, or were you worried that maybe you didn't have a lot of right rear left at the end?
No, I really was. I just up there on the top with the way the build is now, it's not like you used to be able to get up there and, just rip it and pin it around the top. You just got to really baby it all the way around the top to be fast and stay in the good stuff. And then as it did get later in the race, I found the cushion up there by the wall getting really thin, and you'd almost get balled up in it if you got all the way in it. So then I started kind of cheating my entry in a little bit. Found that like a little short slider up to it was a little bit easier and more consistent to run. But car felt pretty good all night.
Man, it looked good. Consistency was the key. I mean, you were kissing the wall every now and then, but the Clay behind you, it seemed like every time you'd make a little hiccup, he'd do the same thing and not able to make up any ground. But Chad, so far, great season. I mean, when you're here, you're running up towards the front, if not for a mistake. And man, if we can get you up to this A series next year, it's going to be an exciting series.
That's my goal. I'm gonna run this whole season out here. Hopefully, try to win this, and then not look back. I'll just move up to the Renegades and start running that. So yeah, I look forward to it.
Sounds good, man. Hell of a job tonight. Led all the laps here. Are we going to see you in this next race, or are you going to take this one off?
You won't see me in this one. I got somebody in that race that I'm gonna spot, so I got to go spot for him when I'm down here. So,
well, congratulations, Chad, man. Big win. Who you want to thank?
Thanks Scott Thomason Racing, Scott Thomason himself, all of my team over there that tests with me and runs with me. I didn't have much time to test this week, but we'll do it again next week. Also thank you guys for the broadcast, Roger for the league, and Josh Whiteman for doing my paint jobs for me. He does a really good job.
Great job tonight, man. 31 car field, and you sit atop. Congratulations.
Thanks, Shaggy.
So Chad Griggs is the winner here tonight in Victory Lane. We're going to step aside and go to break. When we come back, Renegades action on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus. So let's get.
Tonight when we talked about it.
these dollars had come together to support us. And we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. One final race left to go tonight, and it's Renegades action. And as always, our friends of the Renegades, brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing, as we get things set to go. That did not work. Let's see if this here works. We restarted our SDK game to see if that could fix everything up, and it did. Perfect. So we are good to go here. Bringing the booth once again, Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chapman and Brandon Dittmer. We got the Renegade set. 22 right now is our car count at the moment. So, with all of that's gone down these past this past week here, is Patrick Spangler the man that everyone's going to try and chase after here? Whoever wants to take it can.
I mean, you got to think, with the Olympics on mind, he was the one carrying the torch here. I mean, he had a quick car, but just kind of let Ross set the pace there at Knoxville and then pounced at the end with a big move. And, well, Ross isn't here to go back after him tonight, it doesn't look like. So if anybody's going to have anything for that guy, I think it's going to be the salesman tonight, or, possibly a sleeper pick here. Think about that 218 here tonight.
Kurt Schatzer possibly could be a good pick. That could be a really good pick, so we'll just have to see what happens tonight, that's for sure, as qualifying is just about set to begin. 2 minutes on the clock. We'll get the lap times all pulled up here. I haven't done that yet tonight, actually. I just realized. So we'll be nice to you guys here. So first driver to come out onto the track for qualifying will be the Professor, John High in the 71. We'll keep an eye on with a brand new paint scheme. He's got the Cruise Shop Gambler Motorsports entry, black and yellow this time. So the Professor will be the one to set the bar here on lap number 1 as he goes 11.817. Brandon Templeton, 11.703. Patrick Spangler, 11.66. As the lap times continue to wind down here, we'll see if somebody improves. Jeff Barker up to 9th. Now a lot of drivers with a better second lap. The Bird's a beast, though. Let's see if he's on the room for improvement. Better in Sector 2. So if it did the best there, no, 12.03. John Short, though, 5th on lap 1 and 11.75. Jesse Exton just took it away from him, though, on lap 2 and 11.74 for the Pink Panther. Quick time, Blake Chapman.
Woo! Man, that was a clean lap, Marty.
11.587, 700ths better than Patrick Spangler. Second lap time, 11.72. Tyler Wilson, 7th quick on lap 2 and 11.75. And that will do it for qualifying The Salesman is on top again. So with 3 heats, that should put John Hine, Brandon Dittmer, Dean Reynolds, and Tally Ulibarri on the front row.
Just how I planned it.
We'll just have to see. Either that or it's Donovan Ross, Jeff Barker, Terry Landis. Don't quote me, Brandon. It's either Brandon, Dean, Talon, or Donovan, Jeff, and Terry.
Now don't hurt my ego. There we go. All right. Zach, you mentioned Blake Chapman and Kurt Schatzer coming after Patrick Spangler tonight, but I'm looking at the points leader, Mr. Jesse Vandy.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, he's just he's been a stealth assassin this year, and hasn't been too phenomenal, but he does what it takes. He hasn't been making a lot of mistakes, and I mean that's what you want. You want the broadcasters to be sleeping on you, don't you?
You do. So
good luck in this one, Brandon. Oh my gosh!
Yes,
oh my gosh!
I've got a hornet's nest right behind me.
Brandon looks like he's the baby that's got candy, and then everyone behind him is just a bunch of bullies. So, Heat 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. The Spider Monkey on pole in the 83, and next to him it's the Macho Man Tyler Wilson in the 42. Jesse Bandy inside row 2 in the 49, and the Salesman Blake Chapman next to him in the 20. Row number 3, it's Devo, the return of Donovan Ross in the 5, and Brad Waite next to him in the 814. Final row tonight, Bob DeGood, he's in car number 7, and Bryce Odell back with us in the 43 tonight.
I just picture Brandon looking like Forrest Gump right now as he runs his leg chains off here. You got to run, Forrest.
Good luck, Brandon.
Thank you, boy.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right?
Amen. And he's lucky enough to draw P1 Heat 1, and he saw, it is really difficult to pass here. If he can throw a good move here in 1 and 2, he can set the pace here tonight.
So the winner on pole, Training Wheels Racing, make up the front row tonight. As the Steve King Foundation Pace Truck, $3,300 donated last week on pit road. Green flag is out. Here we go.
Veteran move there by the 83. Doesn't run the bottom. Elbows him up, and Brandon's got the lane
look
here.
At Wilson, though. 3 wide for the lead. Bandy all the way downstairs. That cost him a spot to Blake Chapman. Wilson tries to slot in line in second, but watch out. Just open the door barely for the Salesman. In fact, Brandon in a bad turn number 2. Wilson to the point with Chapman in second, Dak. Dittmer in the wall.
He jumped the cushion on the exit of 2, got real sideways, able to hang on right now in the final chance spot, but he goes around.
Keeps it straight, damaged the tail tank. As he keeps it going. Luckily, everyone makes the show with 22 drivers checking in, so no B-May needed tonight, Zach. That's a good thing.
No, but I'll tell you what, the Macho Man up front here, he's going to make it hard for Blake to get around. That's Patrick Spangler's teammate, for everybody who doesn't know. And, Tyler's got just as much speed as Patrick does.
400 better was Wilson last time by. It was the quickest lap of the race at an 11:80. This time by an 11:77 for Wilson. Chapman 11:88. Bandy matched it in third. 2 to go, Zach.
Yeah, 2 sticks in the air here. We got 6 turns left here as we go down the backstretch. Jesse Bandy has been able to keep pace with those guys, but, man, just not able to get around here as the white flag's around.
Final lap underway. 0.4 of a second the advantage for Tyler Wilson. Makes his way into turns number 3 and 4. The Macho Man takes the win in heat race number 1. Chapman second, Bandy third, Ross in fourth, Waite fifth, Odell 6th to good 7th, and Dittmer 8th. I think Devo came back from his hangover. He had a dingus all week, and now he's with us.
He raced his way in the show, but that's another one. He's going to have to climb the ladder here if he wants to finish on the podium, as he's going to have a lot of guys to get by.
So we now move on to heat race number 2 tonight, which is brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. And here's how the lineup looks. Dean Reynolds on the pole in the Super Dirt Car Series, FTM number 79. Next to him, it's John Short in the 51. I'm sorry, World of Outlaws 79. The Outlaws were at Wheat Sport yesterday. Duh. Keith Jackson, the 113 on row number 2 to his outside, the high side banger, the 2-time Knoxville Nationals champion, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row number 3, the Brood to Beats, Jeff Barker in the 513. Superman's next to him, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Final driver on the grid tonight, Steven Stewart in the 29. And Keith Jackson is coming into this race like he is probably like how he's Drew McIntyre. Probably coming into this one all furious and frustrated.
Yeah, early troubles there at Knoxville after being the main man. And, I mean, he knows it's for charity, but like I said, every single one of us in that thing, you want that piece of hardware, even if it is a piece of plastic. It's bragging rights, but got a long way to go here tonight. Tough heat. I meant what I said when I thought Kurt Schatzer may win here tonight. I'm surprised to see him not in a transfer spot. So that really says this is a tough heat right here.
Reynolds and Short to bring us to green. Winner starts in the front row tonight. Here we go. Good start for Dino. Short nearly ramped over his right rear sneaker, but don't open the door up for the high side bagger for second. No, Spangler still has third, Zach.
Yeah, we saw him get a lot of y'all too, and you got to wonder. I'd love to hear from Brandon. I'd love to know that high side, man. It looks so slick up there. Schatzer's around.
Yeah, it's very kind of treacherous up there right now. I don't know if I just had a bad setup or what, but I couldn't hang on to it worth a hoot. But Patrick's making it look really easy up there right now as he tries to track down Dino.
Dean's probably hanging on for dear life, but Dean just put up the quickest lap, 12:03. Bad exit for Patrick Spangler. Short has closed in, looking for the 2 spot on the track, Zach, halfway home.
Yeah, it's Dittmer's being a little hard on himself there for that mistake. You're seeing Patrick, he got off the top. Now Keith, they're struggling up top. That exit on turn 2 is treacherous right now. Nobody wants to flirt with that.
Spangler has reeled the 79 back in. He's got 2 laps to go to try and start in the front row. Can and will he do it? Oh boy, took a peek on the upstairs. Oh, had to back out of it off of 2 there, Zach.
Yeah, we saw it Thursday night, though. Will he do it? We know he will, but he's got to get close enough here. White flag's out.
He kissed the wall, though, off of turn number 4. May have another shot in 3 and 4. We'll just have to see. But Dean Reynolds is pulling away. He's like that fisherman in the State Farm commercial. Ooh, you almost had it, Patrick. You got to be quicker than that. Reynolds wins heat race number 2. Spangler second, Short third, Jackson fourth, Stewart fifth, Barker sixth, Schatzer seventh. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
I wish I knew that guy's name, because that could... You know, John had Bass Pro on that thing, and little insider, he works for them, and I guess they were tired of those bad finishes, made him go back to the other paint here. So, John, he's going to be getting low on funds here if he can't get a good finish here tonight.
Having some technical difficulties, everyone, so just bear with us here as we try to figure things out.
The green flag is high, and it's ready to fly here for heat race number 3, boys.
Zach, I'll let you call this one. We're having some issues right now.
Oh, telling you, Labari, the meat and the sandwich here. He's got to figure something out. The professor's got a big run on the top as he's the leader going into turn 1.
Yeah, it took him about a half lap to get that thing up and rearing to go, but as you can see, he is tearing that thing up on the outside as Templeton goes for P2 right now.
So Templeton, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the Pink Panther.
Jesse, oh, look at Templeton, though, for the race lead on John Hind. Can he take it away? Not just yet, but trying to clear exit off the corner. Has second, Zach.
Yeah, it's really hard to play offense when you got to play defense, and the Pink Panther is right behind B-Temp, so one mistake from Brandon, and he's not battling for the lead anymore.
And B-Temp, the quickest driver on track in an 11.98. Meanwhile, nearly 4 wide off the corner for fourth, Clay Christopherson trying to make some moves. Atkinson eats Templeton. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
and he landed it. No, never mind. He did it. Never mind. I thought he
Oh,
landed it,
no.
but B-Tup went up into outer space.
Oh my gosh. I have to put SpaceX on that thing.
That'll have to make the highlight reel tonight. The not top 10 tonight, I should say. Meanwhile, John Hine, the professor, off for turn number 4, takes the win in heat race number 3. I'm speechless after that.
Holy cow.
As we go to commercial break, watch this. Whee! See, I thought he had it. I thought he had it. Dang it. All right, stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Raceway, their lead.
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Renegades Division on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, presented by Dylan Westbrook Racing.
Moments away from our final feature, we've got a junkyard. It's still a junkyard. All right, coast is clear. So, Steven Stewart currently the quickest driver in hot laps at the moment. We're still in replay mode. I don't know why. There we go. Now we're good. Yeah, Steven's the quickest. 12:038 as we're moments away from getting our final feature of the night going. While we wait, let's give you your schedule for the rest of the weekend next week on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Today is July 29th. Tomorrow night, Shaggy has the retreads. We've got 360s at Lernerville and the pickup trucks at Daytona at 7 p.m. Wednesday night, the Hometown Heroes. We had Port Royal for 360s and 410s. Thursday night, I have Thursday Night Thunder with small blocks and big blocks at Volusia. That's at 7. And then Monday next week, we head to I-55. Days after the Outlaws have the Ironman. Guess what? We'll be there too. So, all right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Apologies for technical difficulties. We had some frame drop throughout heat racing. I don't know what happened there. I have my OneDrive set to pause every 8 hours, and for some reason it decided to unpause on me. I don't know. We'll blame Steve Ballmer for that one. So, anyway, regardless though, we're good to go. We got the features set. Thanks for joining us on your Monday night. Let's meet the field of 22 rather. Here's the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42, and next to him, it's Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row 2, the Professor, John Hine in the 71, and the Salesman, Blake Chapman in car number 20. Row number 3, the High Side Banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39, and the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson in the 127. Row 4, the Bandy Belt Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49, and Shorty, John Short in the 51. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, Clay Christopherson in the 51, and Devo Donovan Ross in the 5. Row number 6, Keith Jackson in the 113, and Talia Ulabari in number 19. Row 7, Brad Waite in the 814, and Steven Stewart in car number 29. Row 8, Gentleman Jack Kent, he's in the 217, and Bryce O'Dow in the 43. Row number 9, it is Jeff Barker, the Bird to Beast, the 513, and the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, in the 161. Row 10, Bob DeGood in the 7, and Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Final row tonight, B-Town, Brandon Templeton, and the Brandon Dimmer, the Spider Monkey, in the 83. Back row Brandon, I guess we'll say.
That's a little cold call at that.
All right, picks to win, Zach.
I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it, Marty.
You're gonna
Dean
do it.
Reynolds. I'm doing it.
You? Oh!
Brandon?
Thanks, Zach. You know what? Give me the Pink Panther.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck tonight, buddy.
Thank you.
My pick tonight, wide open. Give me that popcorn. Blake Chapman gets it done.
You had to. You just had to.
Yes, I did. Steve King Foundation Pacework on pit road, as we say. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Green flag is out. Showtime at Limaland. Three wide for second off the corner. And Tyler Wilson has the lead off the Flatline Racing Bodies. Green flag. The Macho Man leads lap number 1. Good battle for third, though. Spangler underneath. High nearly with contact off of Bandy. And now let's see if Spangler can test the bottom out to go for the race lead, Zach.
Yeah, might have to call him the low side banger here as he's making a new groove down there on the bottom as he clips the tire.
And now he's forcing the 3 wide situation for fourth. Bandy in the middle. Chapman up on the top shelf. And Chapman's through to fourth. Spangler lost a lot of time. Now he's got to try and regain all that ground.
I'll tell you what, that 79 here, he's going for it. He's stalking him.
Underneath for the race lead, we got one driver that the leaders are approaching. Believe that's Brandon Templeton in the 31. Bandy sends it in for third. Hein crisscrosses him. Man, there's a lot of good racing at Limaland. And we saw this last. Oh, Chapman spins. Atkins in. Oh, Steven Stewart tattoos him. And one driver upside down. That's an A&J car. It's Brad Waite.
No caution.
No caution. We stay green somehow. I don't know. I really just don't know. John Hein, meanwhile, for second. And now the yellow. John Short, watch out, leaders. Short and Dittmer all caught up. Remember, this pack racing, we saw it. We saw it, Zach, last season, and they did this nearly nonstop in the feature.
I mean, this is unbelievable. I can just imagine the drivers catching their breath right now as I need to. There was battling all over the track. Anywhere you looked, they were 2, 3 wide, and I mean, pretty good clean racing for the most part. Not sure what happened originally with that Blake Chapman deal.
I'll show you the cause of this big wreck that broke out. Chapman looking on the outside. Ooh, Atkinson caught him. And Steven Stewart ramped him. Brad Waite with nowhere to go. We know we're 1 to green here. We'll pop up some replays. Let's go on board with the Pink Panther.
We are now 1 to green going down the backstretch.
There you see the bop right there, and then wait till you see that. Man, great camera shot of Waite flipping right in front of him.
Tyler Wilson's going to take the top here. It's going to move Dino to the bottom, but still a good start here for Dino, able to get up top.
Jesse Bandy, though, for second, the points leader. Trying to extend that lead on Patrick Spangler going on in. And he wants the lead on Wilson. That's tight. He keeps the lane to Dino on the outside line. But Bandy down low's liking what he's seeing. Almost got turned off for Tyler Wilson. Hits the Uke tire. Spangler goes through. Nobody hits him. 4 wide for second. Oh, Devo loses the top wing as well. It gets back on, but Wilson's opened up the gap, though, Zach. This is some good stuff. And it may just end here. Trouble for Kurt Schatzer, yellow waves. Brandon Dittmer with a nice 360, maybe a 480. Let's take a chance to catch our breaths here. Man, this is some good stuff right now, Zach Chapman.
No kidding, man. If you wanted the best here, you got it. I mean, this is incredible. I really am. I'm speechless. I don't know where to watch. Somehow John Hine got back up to P2 with all of this going on. It's just there's stuff going on everywhere. It's unbelievable. JJ the jet plane, he's up 7 spots right now. I mean, he is flying. He just needs a chance to get up there.
You're talking about Bryce, right?
Or yeah, that's right. JJ's the jet plane. You're right.
JJ's the Rebels guy.
Yeah.
Bryce is the Renegades guy.
Exactly right.
So, let's see who's checking in chat. Let's see here. Sean was running for Corey earlier tonight. Bixler says he's dropping $5 on the Spider Monkey.
Well, here we go.
I believe the final double fire restart of the night. Wilson and Hine, the front row. Wilson, the right to fire now. Green flag back out, and Dino takes advantage of it. Up to second on that restart. If a caution flag comes out now, he would have it. Hine tried to slide job Reynolds. He leaves the lane open. May try it this time. Does he have the hole to do it? No, he doesn't. Contact made between the two. 3 wide for second. And we go to yellow. Now, did they take the lap is the question. It's Keith Jackson, Kurt Schatzer, and John Short for those wondering.
Yeah, my iRacing has Dino in third, so they're going to count that lap. The leaders just got across the line, so Dino's going to have to fall back to P3.
I don't think Dean, though, is going to be too pleased with John, though, that's for sure.
No, definitely, not getting much room here, but there's a lot of time left, and maybe that's a case of, just back out, live the fight another day here. Dino's got a fast car. He's got to make sure he's around here at the end.
So Ulibarri turned Keith Jackson around as you ride on board here with Kurt Schatzer. See, just trying to follow his line, and all of a sudden he sees a car stopped. Obviously, dirt racing, you don't have spotters. iRacing, that's something different. It doesn't tell you immediately unless you have a live spotter. Car stopped in the middle, or something like that. The iRacing spotter doesn't tell you that, so you're just picking a lane with the yellow flies and holding on, hoping it works.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's pretty delayed even telling your car inside sometimes on dirt. That live spotter is nice, but most of the guys don't have the benefit of that, Marty.
Single file restarts the rest of the race. Let's go to the 5-lap average. Who is the best driver on track as we come back to green? It's the 4th place driver, Patrick Spangler. Reynolds for second on Hine. Oh, got the wall really good. Spangler may use it to his advantage, though.
Yeah, and that's just going to put the pressure on Dino more. He's got to be smooth here in 1 and 2. We've seen that be a treacherous corner. He's got a lot of speed.
Spangler nearly got in the 79, and Bandy trying to take advantage of it. Remember, Spangler and Bandy, your top 2 in the championship title race. They were separated by 23 points coming into the night, and that is without the drops in effect.
Now, John, he's finding a lot of time. He's good in 3 and 4, struggling a little bit on the exit of 2 here. Did a little better this time, not going to get us sideways, and I'll have to see if he can run down our leader, Tyler Wilson.
He's the quickest driver in the race with a 12:39 so far today. Steven Stewart has crashed. Nope, never mind. That was just probably some net code. But again, this is a heck of a race for the 3rd position. Bandy edges out Reynolds barely. Now Reynolds slowed up by Hine. Bandy could use this to his advantage, and the 49 has it. Now Hine turns him around in front of Reynolds.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And
That
Dino
took out a
is
lot of
upside
guys.
down. Yeah, a lot of good guys taken out. And Jesse Bandy's going to have a target on his back next week. Nope, I'm sorry. I meant Hine's going to have a target on his back next week. I apologize for that.
Yeah, it looked like Bandy just went in there to protect, and maybe Hine thought he was going to run the top again and just didn't lift and got in the back of him. Definitely, I don't think was intentional, but man, it don't look that good. Yeah, because you can see, too, he does kiss the front stretch wall, John Hine does, and that sends him a little lower, so probably messes up his corner entry. It's not a normal corner for him. Still a tough break for the leaders up front. His teammates liked what happened, though. Look at 1 and 2 right now, Marty. Here's the green flags flying.
15 laps remain. Drivers that took advantage of it. Clay Christopherson up on the podium. Blake Chapman now in 4th. Donovan Ross in 5th. And now with Jesse Bandy involved in that accident, you got to think this is Patrick Spangler's chance to get a win here. Get maximum points here tonight, possibly. Underneath his teammate for the race lead as they're wing to wing into 3.
Yeah, and you know, Tyler Wilson, he's a great teammate, but he's not going to give up a win, Marty. He's going to make Patrick earn it, and looky who right behind him. Here comes the salesman running his own line. 3 guys in their own lane.
Chapman trying to lead a tread of Galen's homegrown popcorn. Clay Christopherson wants to follow him and eat that popcorn up possibly, but it's training wheels up top. KSR FTM underneath. Spangler, though, wants the race lead. 11 laps remain at Limaland. Slide job from Spangler and takes it to the point. I wonder if Wilson possibly let him in to see if Spangler could get the big points.
Yeah, you know, Wilson, it looked like maybe capped out of the throttle a little bit there coming out of 2. No reason to try to cross over your teammate who you know is faster. Learn something in this segment. We may get another caution, and you may be able to go get him again.
Chapman, though, still in this hunt. Remember, this is a guy that likes to save that right rear for later on. For second on Tyler Wilson. Can't get it just yet. 3 wide for the race lead at turn number 3. Blake Chapman could put it out to the point, and I think he just did. I don't know. It was way too close to call.
Patrick barely got him at the line, but this time by, I don't think he's going to be so lucky. Blake is hooking up out of 4.
He is the quickest driver on track in the last 5 laps. Him and Jesse Atkinson closing in big time. 6 laps to go. The 20 looking for the lead for the first time tonight. Spangler still edges him.
Yeah, Patrick, I thought was going to lose it. He had a big uh-oh coming out of 2, but much smoother this time, and I think he's figuring out a good middle groove there in 1 and 2.
This is some good racing. And look at the lap traffic. The leaders are about to approach. Who led at the line? I think it may have been Chapman.
iRacing's got Patrick again by 0.02 of a second, so it was close.
That's going to change this time. Blake Chapman leads his first lap of the day with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, by 0.1 of a second there, side by side, and if this thing stays green, we might hit lap traffic.
3 laps remain. Blake Chapman or Patrick Spangler. Good friends off track, rivals on the track. They race each other so hard. The best drivers in sprint car racing today. 2 sticks in the air, 2 laps to go. The salesman or the high side banger. Spangler better exit off the 2.
Yeah, huge run here. If he's got any chance, he's got to rip the lip here. White flag in the air.
Final lap is underway. Chapman nearly hits the Uke tire. He did that time off for turn 2. Spangler's got an opportunity for this. Wing to wing into 3 and 4. Checkered waves. Chapman or Spangler. Spangler takes the win. 17 thousandths of a second.
Gosh, what a finish. If Blake doesn't hit that tire coming out of 2, I think he's the winner here tonight, Marty. That had to be the difference.
What a finish to this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he hits 2 tires in 1 and 2. He jumped the one in the middle of the corner and then just clipped the one on exit, and that's the one that really got him.
Official margin of victory, 26 thousandths of a second. Patrick Spangler, the winner tonight. And what a night for Training Wheels Racing. A driver in 1st, driver in 3rd, driver in 4th. They had the car to beat tonight, and Spangler stole it at the end.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm looking back at this, Marty, real slow-mo. I turned the rear chase camera. About 30 feet after the finish line, Blake Chapman would have won that race. He had such a huge charge on the bottom, but Patrick hammered down up top right against the wall. He made it stick.
So we're pulling out, as we have the official results here pulled up. Alrighty, let's go to a replay. Let's take a look at it going into turn number 1. We're gonna go aerial shot here. Get rid of these results. Yeah, you can see he hit 2 tires right there. Chapman had to let off the throttle, I would assume. And the best part of all of that was a clean finish at the end. Obviously, a little bit of controversy after last week's Knoxville Nationals. Spangler and Corinna racing very hard for the win. There was some contact, but this one right there, that was a clean finish to the end.
Yeah, gave Blake room on the bottom, and it's going to be interesting to ask these guys. I don't know what the preferred line was there at the end, Marty. I think it was all what you had your car set up for and what kind of tire you had left. Man, these guys got to catch their breath here before they climb up here.
Absolutely. Let's bring in third place finisher Tyler Wilson. Talk about what he saw in front of him. Tyler, what a race at the end. I know you were following Patrick there in the high side. How did your car feel throughout the night?
Oh man, it felt messy, to be honest with you. I was just happy to start out front there. I could kind of tell those first few laps. I was definitely not the fastest car out there. I could see Dean and those guys just sort of bunching up on my tail tank there. So I knew I wasn't the fastest car, but I just figured if I made no mistakes, then they were going to have to pass me the hard way. And then Patrick got behind me, and it's always nervous seeing him or Blake right there. So that's when I did make my mistake, and both of them just scooted around me like it was no big deal. But that was a lot of fun actually racing those two guys. We were kind of 3 wide there for a little bit. It was fun watching both those lines, top and bottom, kind of work. And yeah, I had a fun race. Of course, leading the first half, it would have been nice to come away with the win, but I'm never really upset getting passed by Blake and Patrick. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Who do you want to give shout outs to on the run?
Well, everybody over at Training Wheels, you guys for putting on the broadcast. This should be a fun one to go back and watch. Roger and everybody at the league and things they do. It sounds like the Knoxville Nationals went well, so that's good to hear. It's good to see all the money donated and stuff there. So yeah, just everybody that kind of makes this happen week in and week out.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. A great run tonight for you. Best of luck next week.
Thanks, Marty.
So that's the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson, finishing third. I'm having issues moving you back in the waiting room. Nope, I got you now. There we go. All right, let's get to the salesman. Blake Chapman finishing second. A tough break for him. Zach, we'll let you take this one.
Man, Blake, you got to have a smile on your face, but at the same time, you got to maybe feel like you let one slip away. You think kissing that tire in 1 and 2 was the death of you on that white flag lap?
Honestly, no. Going back and looking at the replay too, I think it helped turn the car a little bit. So I don't know. I think those last couple laps there, it was just getting slicker and slicker on that bottom. I had to slow the car down even more. If this would have been a 30-lap race, I think I would have been in better shape maybe. But yeah, I'm not too disappointed. We got turned around early and had to go to the back, and I didn't know if this car was set up to drive to the front from coming in the back, and we just stuck it on that bottom, and that bottom was fast. We had a really good setup in this thing tonight. Felt really, really good at hugging those tires, and just went away a little too much on us at the end, but we'll definitely take a second place.
Yeah, I'd love for iRacing to give us some brake glow. I would have loved to seen how cherry red those things were. How hard were you riding the brake on that bottom?
I was riding it pretty hard. I mean, every corner coming in, I had to get on it pretty heavy, harder as the race went on. Definitely, yeah. I agree with you there. I'd like to see iRacing add that. I think that'd be a cool feature.
Well, hey, Blake, it's not every night here, every Monday night that we get to see our top two duke it out here and throw punches at the end and in a great, clean style fashion. It sucks that you lost it there coming to the checkered flag, but that was a hell of a finish, Blake. Great job on the second place, man. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I gotta thank the family for watching. I gotta thank all the guys at the Kite Sim Racing team and the Can-Am Racing team. I gotta thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at A&J Custom Creations. Of course, I gotta thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You guys know how good their product is. You can head over to their website and use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off some of their very, very delicious popcorn. And I gotta thank you guys for putting this broadcast on.
Great job, Blake, and second place. That's another good staple here for another good points run, man.
Yeah, thanks, Zach.
So the salesman finishing in second. Let's go and talk with your winner in victory lane, Patrick Spangler. In another last lap pass, another fantastic finish. Patrick, did you see on the replay what happened to Blake?
No, I didn't. No.
He caught two Tory tires in the inside of 1 and 2, and it seemed like you took that to your advantage.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that. So yeah, that's crazy. I caught one
He's
earlier
claiming
and got
it
the
helped
2X.
him, though. He claimed
It
it
may
helped
have.
him.
It may have. I don't know. I thought he was gonna blow us away because on that caution, like I was looking at the last lap time, he hit like a 12.6, and all the rest of us were like 12.9. I thought he was just gonna power right around us, but that middle came in, and it was a little bit tacky, and I just started hitting that, and I was able to, we were side by side for a while, and I know me and Tyler were side by side for a while. I just didn't want any Team Alpine memes, so I was just trying my hardest not to hit him there.
How much fun was this race as a whole tonight? I mean, we saw it last season when the Renegades were at Limaland. That was probably a Race of the Year candidate. This one here was still a banger after banger tonight.
Yeah, it's crazy because you get us on these short tracks, super slicked off, and we have minimal cautions. I think we maybe had 3 or 4 tonight, and then we run a big track like Knoxville or Eldora, and we have 9 cautions. So usually it produces cleaner racing. There was a big one earlier, and I kind of saw it coming. There's guys running like a slider line in the middle, and then some guys up top kept you on the wall. So I moved down low, and I moved down low a lap in the right spot there because the next lap it was the big one. So got lucky there and was able to just hang on.
Well, next week, I-55, how do you feel about that one going on in? I know that's a track that favors the Vanderbilt drivers, but how do you feel about that going on in?
Well, if they only have one Vanderbilt driver show up next week, that'd be nice again. But no, it's always fun racing them. Sucks they couldn't be out this week. That's another one where it's all about track position. I got lucky in the heat race and was able to go 4th to 2nd, but the starting spots are huge. That one's at least a little bit wider, so usually get the top and bottom working, but I like the big tracks myself, so we'll see how that one goes, though.
Well, a great run for you tonight. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Just you and the booth boys up there, Shaggy and Dittmer. Always awesome broadcast. Raj for running the league, everything he does, and the big payout to the Westbrook Foundation. That was probably one of the biggest charity events we had so far to date. D-Dex Sim Designs Bossy Wrap design for the wraps. Trainwheels Racing, and Tyler, Jesse, and Dittmer in the main there. Jesse was coming on strong. I think he went like 10th or 4th there in the last little bit, and he was sitting on 8X, so he had to play it somewhat safe.
Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations on the win, and big points day for you, too.
Yeah, I got some X's, so and Blake out-qualified me, so I probably still lost out on points to Blake, but yeah, at least I stayed with him.
Absolutely. Great job tonight, man.
Thanks.
So Patrick Spangler, the winner. I meant big points day as Jesse had that accident and finished in 12th at the end. And going back to that $35.50 donated to the Steve King Foundation, man, that's going to be a heck of a check that Danette's going to get for sure. Nearly a 100% increase over last year. So let's bring the booth boys back in. Final thoughts on the night here. Brandon, we'll start with you.
Oh, another great night of racing. At the end, I was kind of half listening to the calls and really exciting race going on, so I decided to park at the last 5 laps and just kind of watch and just kind of be shell-shocked at how these two are racing up front. Absolutely fantastic. But a great night of racing all around. Can't believe, well, at least we got a longer green flag run in there at the end to kind of finish her out, but yeah.
We did have a good green flag run to end it. So, Zach, final thoughts for you?
Yeah, I was treated to a wonderful A show here at the end between my long-lost cousin and my agent, Patrick Spangler. He's always hooking me up with small-time broadcasting job. So I love seeing those two duke at it. And I mean, it's what you want to see. Those guys went toe to toe, didn't touch each other, gave each other plenty of room. And I mean, we saw one of the best finishes, we've ever seen.
Another good one. Another thriller tonight at Limaland. Did not disappoint. We had some great racing without question. And definitely looking forward to seeing what happens next week at a track kind of similar, not really. I-55, Pevely, Missouri. We'll get a sneak peek of what happens this weekend during the Ironman for the World of Outlaws. Going to be a fun week next week for sure, guys. So another fun one with you guys in the booth. So that is going to do it for us here. On behalf of everyone with the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the drivers and sponsors and admins, Roger Craig and everyone else at C2CRL, Brandon Dittmer, Zach Chetmer, my broadcast partners, Marty Scala sign off. Thanks for watching us tonight. Congrats to your winners, Sam Bachman in Open 358s, Chad Griggs in Rebels, and Patrick Spangler in Renegades. So long, everyone.